My child, I said this word cannot wait any longer. Heaven is moving now. I would not speak like this unless something had already begun to shift. This is not an announcement meant to excite you without substance. This is a summons meant to steady you because what you have been praying for is no longer distant. It is closer than you think, and time is speeding up around you in ways you can feel but may not yet understand. What you have been praying for did not get lost in the noise. It did not fall through the cracks of heaven. Every word you whispered when you were tired, every prayer you repeated when nothing seemed to change, every quiet moment where you wondered if I was listening, I heard all of it. And now the answer is moving faster than you expected because preparation has finished. Awaiting was not delay. Awaiting was alignment. Do not ignore this moment. Do not tell yourself this is just another message or another night that will pass like the others. What I am about to do is already in motion. It does not need your effort to begin, but it does need your awareness to be received. Movement has started in the unseen, and when unseen things move, the visible follows quickly. Tonight is not ordinary. I need you to understand that. There are nights that simply pass, and there are nights that mark a turning point. This is not a night of strain. This is a night of alignment. Something you have waited for, something you thought would take much longer, is lining up right now. You are not imagining the shift you feel in your spirit. That stirring is real. You have asked me again and again, sometimes with hope, sometimes with frustration, sometimes with tears. You asked when you were strong, and you asked when you were exhausted. You asked when you believed, and you asked when belief felt fragile. And now I am answering faster than you expected, not because you finally said the right words, but because the time has come. This is the sign you asked for, even if it arrived sooner than you imagined. You thought confirmation would look dramatic. You thought it would announce itself loudly. But signs often come quietly, wrapped in moments like this where something inside you says, "Pay attention." The fact that you are here right now is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Do not doubt what you feel stirring inside you. That is not fear trying to rise. That is anticipation. Fear dies. Anticipation awakens. Fear tells you to brace for loss. Anticipation tells you something new is near. What you feel right now is your spirit responding before your mind has caught up. If you stay open, you will witness what you thought would take much longer. I am not saying everything will happen at once, but I am telling you that momentum has shifted. When momentum shifts, progress follows quickly. Things that felt stuck begin to move. Doors that felt closed begin to loosen. Answers that felt delayed begin to surface. I'm speaking now because delay would cause you to miss what is unfolding. Not because I would take it away from you, but because awareness sharpens reception. When you are aware, you recognize what I am doing instead of overlooking it. You stop questioning every small change and start seeing the pattern forming. The breakthrough is closer than your doubts tell you. Doubt speaks from memory. It reminds you of how long you waited. It reminds you of how many times you hoped and were disappointed. But I am not bound by your past experiences. I am not limited by previous delays. What is happening now is not repeating what was. It is completing what was started. Stay with me. Do not rush ahead in your thoughts. Do not try to figure out every detail. Presence matters more than analysis right now. When you stay present, you notice the peace arriving before the change. Peace always comes first. Peace is how you know the shift is real. Right, I love you, Lord, with my whole being if His grace has lifted you. I know you are tempted to guard your heart. You have learned to protect yourself by lowering expectation. You have learned to say, I'll believe it when I see it. I understand why you learned that. But hear me gently now. Guarding your heart from hope will not protect you. It will only delay your joy. Hope is not naivety. Hope is trust anchored in my timing. I am not asking you to pretend everything is solved. I am asking you to stay open. Openness is enough for this moment. When your heart stays open, my work can land softly instead of crashing into resistance built from disappointment. You may feel the urge to test this moment, to wait for proof before you believe. But belief is not denial of reality. Belief is alignment with truth before it becomes visible. What is forming now will become visible, but your belief steadies you while it does. Heaven is moving now. That does not mean chaos. It means order is being restored. It means things are lining up that once felt scattered. It means what was out of reach is being brought within reach. You are not late. You are not behind. You are arriving at the right moment. Tonight matters because you are listening. Many miss these moments not because I am silent, but because they are distracted. You chose to stay. You chose to listen. The choice places you in alignment with what is already moving. Do not measure this moment by emotion alone. Emotions rise and fall. Measure it by the steadiness settling in you. That steadiness is my presence. When I am near, fear loses its edge and clarity begins to form. You may wonder why this is happening faster now after so much waiting. It is because preparation often takes longer than fulfillment. You were being shaped quietly. Your capacity was being strengthened. Your understanding was being deepened. And now what you carry can hold what is coming. I know you wanted answers sooner. I know you wish things would move when you first asked. But timing matters. If it had come earlier, it would have overwhelmed you. Now, it will build you. That is why it feels different. That is why it feels right. Stay with me as this unfolds. Do not rush to tell everyone. Do not rush to explain it. Let it settle first. What is real does not need to be announced immediately. It needs to be received. You are not being teased with hope. You are being prepared for fulfillment. This is not a moment to fear disappointment. This is a moment to allow trust to rise again, gently, carefully, without forcing it. I know your doubts. I know the questions forming even now. That does not disqualify you. Doubt does not stop my work. It only reveals where healing is still needed. And I am gentle with that healing. The breakthrough you have been praying for is coming closer than you realize. Some parts are already here. Some parts are aligning. Some parts will reveal themselves step by step. You do not need to chase it. You only need to stay present. Do not miss this sign by expecting it to look different. Sometimes the sign is not an event. It is a moment of clarity, a sense of peace, a stirring of hope you thought you lost. That is happening now. Stay with me. Let this moment anchor you instead of rushing past it. Heaven is moving. Time is accelerating. And you are not on the outside of this. You are included. What you have waited for has not forgotten you. It is finding you. And I am here, speaking now, because this moment matters more than you know. My child, I need you to understand why this word could not wait any longer. This urgency you feel is not chaos, and it is not panic. It is fulfillment pressing forward. There is a difference, and if you do not understand it, you might mistake movement for danger when it is actually promise unfolding. Divine timing has accelerated, not because something went wrong, but because something has gone right. There are seasons where waiting is necessary, where silence is protection, where delay is mercy. And then there are seasons where waiting would cause harm, not because I am impatient, but because what has been prepared is now ready to move. You are standing in that kind of season now. Please support our channel. Our work is focused on bringing happiness into your life and guiding you toward devotion to God. If you wish to support us, you can donate through Super Thanks. I know you have waited a long time. I know there were moments when you thought nothing was happening, moments when you wondered if your prayers had reached me at all. But hear me clearly now. Long waiting often ends suddenly. What takes years to prepare can move quickly once alignment is complete. You mistake speed for surprise because you only see the final steps, not the groundwork beneath them. Urgency does not always mean emergency. Sometimes urgency means opportunity. Sometimes it means the door you thought would open slowly is already opening, and if you hesitate out of fear or disbelief, you may miss the moment to step forward. That is why I am speaking now. Not to rush you into anxiety, but to pull you out of hesitation. This word could not wait because the season has changed. Seasons do not shift gradually the way you expect. They turn. One moment the ground looks the same, and the next moment growth breaks through. That does not mean the growth was sudden. It means it was hidden until it was ready. I have been watching you during the waiting. I saw the nights you prayed and felt nothing. I saw the mornings you hoped and then had to keep going anyway. I saw you learn patience you never asked for. I saw your faith stretch in silence. All of that was preparation. And now preparation is giving way to movement. Do not confuse this urgency with pressure. I am not forcing you. I am inviting you to be aware. When something holy moves quickly, it does not trample the heart. It steadies it. If you listen closely, you will feel peace beneath the urgency, not fear. Fear rushes you forward blindly. Fulfillment draws you forward clearly. I am acting now because love knows when waiting has done all it can do. There is a time when protection looks like delay, and there is a time when protection looks like action. If I waited longer, you would begin to doubt what I have already completed. You would start to believe the silence meant denial. I will not let that lie settle in you. Trust my timing even when it shifts suddenly. I know sudden change can feel unsettling, especially after long delay. You learned how to survive the waiting. You built walls to protect yourself from disappointment. You lowered expectations so you wouldn't get hurt again. And now I am asking you to gently lay those defenses down, not because you were wrong to build them, but because you no longer need them. Seasons shift suddenly after long waiting because readiness often arrives quietly. You did not wake up one day fully prepared. You grew into it. You learned endurance. You learned humility. You learned how to listen without answers. And now you have the capacity to receive what you once asked for without being overwhelmed by it. This is why the word could not wait. Because you are ready in ways you do not yet recognize. If I delayed longer, you would remain stuck in a posture meant only for preparation, not fulfillment. Preparation bends you inward. Fulfillment requires openness. I am calling you out of the waiting posture and into the receiving posture. I want you to trust that my timing is not rushed and it is not careless. Acceleration does not mean recklessness. It means alignment. When everything that needed to be in place is finally in place, movement happens naturally. You are seeing the movement now, but it began long before this moment. Love is behind this urgency. Love that sees your heart. Love that knows how long you have carried hope quietly. Love that understands how disappointment has shaped your expectations. I am not trying to shock you. I am trying to reassure you that what is happening is safe, intentional, and good. Do not measure this moment by how fast it feels. Measure it by how steady it is making you inside. Even now, beneath the surprise, there is a sense of rightness settling in you. That is not excitement alone. That is alignment. I know part of you is afraid to believe again. You tell yourself, I've been here before. You remind yourself of times you hoped too early. But this is not the same moment. You are not the same person. And I am not repeating old patterns. I'm completing a process. This word could not wait because doubt grows when movement is ignored. I want you alert, not anxious. I want you present, not guarded. I want you aware that what you have prayed for is not far away anymore. It is approaching, and some parts are already here. You do not need to hurry. Urgency does not mean speed in your actions. It means clarity in your attention. It means not dismissing this moment as coincidence. It means staying open instead of pulling back because things feel unfamiliar. Trust me when I tell you this is not too good to be true. Truth often feels unbelievable when you have waited too long for it. But my faithfulness does not expire because time passes. If anything, time proves it. I am speaking now because silence would confuse you at this stage. Silence was necessary before. Now clarity is necessary. You are no longer in the phase where waiting strengthens you. You are in the phase where recognition matters. Let this urgency anchor you, not shake you. Let it remind you that I am attentive, involved, and present. I did not forget you in the waiting. I was shaping the outcome. This word could not wait because the moment has arrived. Not all at once, not finished yet, but begun. And beginnings matter. How you receive a beginning shapes how you walk through what follows. Stay with me. Trust my timing. Do not fear the speed. What is moving now has been prepared with care, with patience, and with love. And you are not late to it. You are right on time. My child, I know it feels like everything is suddenly moving fast, almost too fast to catch your breath. After so much waiting, after so many slow days and quiet nights, this shift can feel confusing. You may wonder why momentum is rising now, why things feel alert inside you, why restlessness has replaced the still patience you learned to carry. I want you to hear me clearly and gently now. What you are sensing is not chaos. It is alignment. There is a kind of movement that feels frantic and unstable, and there is a kind of movement that feels swift because resistance has lifted. What you are experiencing now is the second kind. For a long time, much was being prepared beneath the surface. Roots were growing where you could not see them. Strength was being formed where you felt weak. Understanding was being shaped where you felt unsure. Preparation is slow by nature. Fulfillment is often fast by comparison. You feel acceleration now because the unseen work has finished its task. When preparation is complete, motion follows naturally. Think of how long a seed stays hidden in the ground. Nothing appears to happen for a long time. And then, almost suddenly, growth breaks through. To the eye, it seems quick. But the speed is only visible because the work was hidden. This is what has happened in you and around you. You waited through silence. You endured stillness. You learned patience without knowing what it was preparing you for. And now the season has shifted. Movement does not need to fight its way forward anymore. It flows. That flow can feel fast when you are used to resistance. Your heart feels alert because it recognizes change. Restlessness does not always mean anxiety. Sometimes it means readiness. Your spirit knows something is aligning before your mind fully understands it. That alertness is not meant to exhaust you. It is meant to awaken you. It is the feeling of standing at the edge of something new, not the fear of losing control. I know part of you worries that fast movement means instability. You learn to associate speed with risk. You learn to believe that anything good must come slowly, or it will not last. But I am teaching you something different now. Speed does not determine depth. Alignment does. When things move in alignment with my timing, they can move quickly without breaking you. You are not being rushed into something you are unprepared for. You are stepping into what you have been prepared for. That is why, beneath the alertness, there is peace. Even if your thoughts are busy, there is a steadiness in your spirit that was not there before. That steadiness is the sign you need to trust. Unseen preparation does not only happen around you, it happens within you. While you were waiting, your expectations were reshaped. Your dependence deepened. Your discernment sharpened. You learned to sit with uncertainty without losing yourself. Those lessons created capacity. Capacity makes acceleration safe. You may feel like you are being asked to respond more quickly now. Decisions feel closer. Opportunities feel nearer. Conversations feel more significant. That is not because pressure has increased. It is because clarity has increased. When clarity arrives, action naturally follows. Confusion slows you down. Understanding moves you forward. Do not interpret this speed as loss of control. I have not taken control away from you. I am guiding you into cooperation with what is already moving. You are not being dragged. You are being invited to walk at the pace of alignment instead of the pace of fear. Comment, you are worthy of it all, Father, if your heart burns for His glory. I know the waiting taught you to lower expectations. It taught you to protect your heart by assuming things would take longer than you hoped. That protection served you then. But now it can become a barrier if you cling to it. Acceleration feels uncomfortable because it challenges the posture you learned during delay. Delay trained you to endure. Acceleration asks you to receive. Receiving can feel vulnerable. Enduring feels familiar. That is why speed feels unsettling at first. But I am not asking you to abandon wisdom. I am asking you to recognize that wisdom sometimes looks like trusting movement instead of resisting it. Your restlessness is not telling you to run. It is telling you to pay attention. Something is forming quickly now because the path ahead has cleared. Resistance has eased. Timing has aligned. You are not late. You are not early. You are exactly where you need to be. I want to reframe this for you clearly. Chaos scatters. Alignment gathers. Chaos leaves you feeling fragmented. Alignment leaves you feeling focused, even when things are moving quickly. Check your heart. Even now, there is a sense of focus forming, not confusion. That is how you know this movement is from me. The acceleration you feel is also mercy. Long delay builds strength, but long delay can also build weariness. I do not delay fulfillment longer than necessary. When the time comes, I move. I move decisively. That is not impatience. That is care. I'm aware of how fragile hope can feel after long waiting. I know speed can make you afraid to trust again. You tell yourself, if I slow my guard, I might get hurt. But I am not asking you to abandon discernment. I am asking you to trust that discernment has grown. You are not as vulnerable as you once were. Everything feels like it is moving fast because alignment removes friction. When friction is gone, even normal movement feels quick. This does not mean everything will happen at once. It means what needs to happen will not be delayed unnecessarily anymore. Take comfort in this truth. Acceleration does not mean you are losing your footing. It means the ground beneath you has become firmer. You can walk more freely now because you are not navigating uncertainty the way you once were. I am with you in this movement. I am not ahead of you, leaving you to catch up. I am beside you, matching the pace. I am not pushing you faster than you can go. I am revealing that you can go further than you thought. Let reassurance settle into you now. You are safe in this season. You are not being overwhelmed. You are being carried forward by timing that has been carefully arranged. When things move quickly after delay, it is easy to feel like you must keep up on your own. You do not. I will guide each step. You will not be asked to leap blindly. You will be shown where to place your feet. Your speed will not steal your peace. It will refine it. Peace that survives movement is stronger than peace that exists only in stillness. I am building that kind of peace in you now. Trust the acceleration. It is not disorder. It is completion beginning to show itself. What you have been waiting for is not rushing toward you unpredictably. It is arriving at the right time. Stay close to me as things move. Stay attentive, not anxious. Stay open, not guarded. The season feels different because it is different. And different does not mean dangerous. It means new. Everything is moving faster now because the waiting has done its work. And what comes next will not undo what you learned. It will fulfill it. Rest in this truth. You are not being swept away. You are being carried forward. And I am with you in every step of this acceleration. My child, I know which prayers you think are still waiting. I know the ones you stopped mentioning out loud because saying them again felt painful. I know the requests you shortened over time because hope felt heavy to carry. I know the prayers that turned into sighs, the ones that became quiet thoughts instead of spoken words. None of those were forgotten. Not one. I remember every time you came to me with the same request, even when you felt foolish repeating it. I remember the nights when you whispered it softly because you did not want to wake anyone, and the days when you prayed it silently because you did not have the strength to speak. I remember the tears you tried to hide, the ones that fell when you thought no one was watching. I was watching. I was listening. I was near. Your prayers were heard the moment they left your heart. They did not need to grow louder. They did not need better words. They did not need perfect faith. I heard them immediately, not because you prayed well, but because I love you. Love does not delay listening. Love responds even when the answer takes time to unfold. What you mistook for silence was not absence. It was formation. While you were waiting, answers were forming quietly, layer by layer, detail by detail. Some answers require movement in places you cannot see. Some require timing beyond your control. Some require growth in you so the answer does not overwhelm or wound you. That kind of preparation is quiet, and quiet often feels like nothing is happening. I know there were moments when you wondered if I had changed my mind. Moments when you thought maybe you had asked for too much, or waited too long, or believed too boldly. You told yourself that if the answer had not come by now, it probably never would. That thought did not come from me. It came from weariness. Weariness speaks lies gently, and that makes them harder to recognize. You are not wrong for feeling tired of waiting. Waiting stretches the heart. It exposes fears. It brings questions to the surface. But waiting does not mean rejection. Waiting means the answer is being prepared in a way that protects you, not just fulfills you. I want you to know something deeply now. None of your prayers were placed on a shelf and forgotten. They were held carefully. They were considered fully. They were responded to wisely. You were never ignored. You were being guided through a process that would allow the answer to bless you instead of breaking you. Some of your prayers were answered the moment you prayed them, just not in the way you expected. Strength came when you asked for relief. Endurance came when you asked for escape. Clarity came slowly when you asked for immediate direction. Those were not lesser answers. They were necessary ones. I know you wanted visible change. I know you wanted circumstances to shift quickly. I know you were looking for proof that I was moving. But I was working in the unseen first, because unseen work lasts longer. What is built quietly is not easily shaken. You feared your prayers were forgotten because time passed. But time passing does not weaken my faithfulness. Time passing often strengthens the outcome. What you prayed for required alignment, not just permission. Alignment takes patience, but once it is complete, movement follows swiftly. I remember the prayer you prayed so many times you eventually stopped counting. I remember the hope you tried to keep alive while telling yourself not to expect too much. I remember the way you braced your heart before praying again, afraid to feel disappointment. I saw that tension. I felt that ache. And I stayed with you through it. You did not fail because you doubted. Doubt did not disqualify your prayers. Doubt revealed how deeply you cared. You wanted to believe, but you were afraid to hope too freely. I understand that. Hope makes you vulnerable. And vulnerability costs something. You paid that cost more than once. Answers were forming quietly because I was working with care. I was weaving together details you could not see. I was protecting you from outcomes that would have looked good but harmed you later. I was shaping the answer so it would bring peace, not just relief. There were times when you thought you heard nothing because I did not speak in ways you expected. But I was guiding you through circumstances, through delays, through redirections. Every not yet carried wisdom. Every pause carrying purpose. I want to remove this fear from you now. The fear that you waited too long and missed your chance. You did not miss anything. You did not pray too late. You did not stop too early. Your prayers are not outdated. They are timely. I know you learned to live without expecting the answer. That was a way to protect yourself. You learned how to keep going even when hope felt risky. That strength matters. But now I am asking you to let that protective distance soften. Not disappear, but soften. You do not need to brace yourself in the same way anymore. Your prayers were not waiting because I was hesitant. They were waiting because the moment had not yet arrived. And now the moment is drawing near. That is why this feels emotional. That is why memories of those prayers are rising again. That is why you feel both hope and caution at the same time. I want you to feel validated in the waiting. You did not imagine the delay. You did not exaggerate the struggle. It was real, and it mattered. Waiting shaped you and deepened you. It prepared you to receive without losing yourself. Do not measure the value of your prayers by how long they took to be answered. Measure them by how they kept you connected to me even when answers felt far away. Connection is never wasted. Every prayer kept your heart turned toward me, even when you were tired. I know you feared being forgotten because the answer did not arrive when you hoped. But forgetting is not in my nature. I do not forget my children. I do not forget their cries. I do not forget their faithfulness, even when that faithfulness feels small. You are not starting over now. You are continuing. What you prayed for is not being rebuilt from scratch. It is being revealed. What was hidden is beginning to surface. What was forming quietly is beginning to move. Let this bring comfort to you. Let it heal the part of you that learned to expect disappointment. You were not wrong to hope. You were not foolish to pray. You were not ignored in the waiting. I am here now, reminding you of this because the answer is closer than it has ever been. And I do not want fear to steal the joy of recognition when it arrives. Stay with me in this truth. Your prayers were heard. Your tears mattered. The waiting had purpose, and what you thought was still waiting is now beginning to unfold. You are not forgotten. You never were. And the love that heard your first prayer is the same love bringing the answer into view now. My child, I want to gently lift the veil and help you understand what is happening right now in the unseen. Not to overwhelm you, not to confuse you, but to strengthen your faith with clarity. There are movements taking place that do not announce themselves loudly. They are quiet, steady, intentional. And because they are quiet, it is easy to underestimate them. But quiet does not mean small. Often, it means precise. Right now, alignment is happening. Alignment is when things that once resisted each other begin to agree. When timing, people, circumstances, and direction start to line up without force. You may not see it clearly yet, but you can feel it. That sense that things are no longer pushing back the way they used to. That heaviness you carried for so long is beginning to loosen. That is not imagination. That is resistance weakening. I have been arranging what could not be arranged before. Some doors remained closed not because you were unworthy, but because opening them earlier would have caused harm instead of blessing. Doors opened too soon expose what is not ready. Doors opened at the right moment provide covering. That moment is approaching now. And some doors have already begun to open quietly, without fanfare, without announcement. You may notice small changes that feel insignificant. A conversation that goes differently than expected. An opportunity that feels gentler than the struggle you anticipated. A sense of peace where anxiety used to dominate. These are signs of alignment. When alignment happens, effort decreases. Things move with less strain. You stop forcing outcomes and begin recognizing invitations. Say, my soul is yours alone. God, if you long to live in His presence, and share this video